Hey everybody, Ryan McCaffrey here with IGN. I am joined by Jose Otero, and my friend, we are here to talk about LocoCycle, one of the digital launch titles for Xbox One. $20, day one download. It is made by Twisted Pixel, some guys with an awesome track record.
That's right.
Mizplosion Man, The Gunstringer, The Maw, Comic Jumper, just a lot of really cool, charming titles. And LocoCycle is definitely, the thing is, we're not charmed by it for a couple of different reasons. And we want to talk about that a little bit here. And that's number one. So the gameplay, you know, we've both seen the game, played the game very, very recently. It's a car combat, it's an arcade combat game. You play a guy named Pablo who's sort of an unwilling victim slash...
He's unwillingly chained to this
it's
bike
like the
that is
unwilling
speeding
rider
out
of this sentient motorcycle named Iris, battling against Spike, the sentient evil motorcycle voiced by Terminator 2's Robert Patrick, which is genius.
And you get sort of a tinge of that 80s sort of like Knight Rider vibe from it, you know, kid and car.
Perfect
which,
analogy.
It's a reference for folks
Perfect
at home.
analogy. And it's you know, it's very cartoonish right down to the art style. You know, you can sort of, the bike can jump and you can juggle people in the air, and it's combo
skill-based. It looks very skill-based, which is also kind of a cool thing.
Yeah, you get graded at the end of each section, A, B, C, D, F, based on how well you played and how well you chained things together.
Yeah.
And right now I'm still not sure. I need to see more. We've only seen little bits and pieces, but I'm not feeling the same magic that I felt with the other Twisted Pixel games on the gameplay side. But the bigger concern is the content of the game. Now, you had talked on Podcast Unlocked, our weekly Xbox podcast, about a bit of the intended humor of the game.
Yeah, and I'd like to clarify a couple things, because I was really grateful you gave me a chance to talk about it. But I feel like I misspoke in some instances with that. I may have taken the argument too far. But the thing that I definitely do feel about this game is that it makes me very uncomfortable. I feel that comedy in games, we all know, is very hard, right? I mean, studios like Double Fine that do comedy in games. Even Twisted Pixel, given their track record, they've been generally successful compared to other developers who have gone for comedy in games, and it's just a difficult thing.
But the whole joke here is based on a very sketchy premise,
very stereotypical, very the language barrier, and
because Pablo, your character, well, I mean, even though you sort of play Iris, Pablo speaks Spanish the entire game in their English subtitles. Yeah,
and he's getting dragged around by a bike, sort of pleading for his life. And I know that they're going for slapstick, but it's also something that, unfortunately, my takeaway from it, and this is purely my own, is I felt very uncomfortable by it. It was something that didn't sit right with me from the minute I saw the announcement at PAX 2 years ago.
And I sort of, after the recent hands-on session, I joined you in that due to a specific scene, which was the bike finally stops, and Pablo again is just pleading to this Caucasian older guy for help, help get me off of this thing. And the guy, it was the wording that just I did not care for. He said, well, I'm sorry, you're speaking Mexican. You're gonna have to speak English. Okay. Nope. The joke's not working for me here at all.
I said earlier, comedy is hard, and but this is a developer that has the track record.
However,
I think that one of the problems, at least that I am interpreting from this, is just that the language barrier is kind of the joke for a majority of what we've seen. I mean, we haven't seen a whole lot, but based on what we've seen, it's still kind of that divide. And that kind of humor can still be divisive. I mean, you look back at older Merry Melodies, and some people can say some of the content in those things were offensive, right? There were some jokes that just, you look at them and they have not aged well, but there was no sort of malintent by the people making those jokes.
Right.
And I feel that's the same here. I don't try to point blame at Twisted Pixel. I think, they're trying to do comedy in games, and comedy is hard. But I do think that stretching out this joke, or at least showing as much as they've shown to us, and that's all they've shown to us with LocoCycle outside of the skill-based gameplay, is kind of an issue for me.
Yeah, I think the LocoCycle review, which will be coming up in the very not-too-distant future on IGN, will be an interesting one, because we really need to see a lot more the full scope of both the gameplay and of the comedy and the humor they're going for. So until then, for all things LocoCycle, you're already in the right place, IGN.